In today's episode, we ask the question, are you ready for the next stage in your life? Grab yourself a hot beverage and ponder the mysteries of life with us in another delicious and freshly brewed episode of You're Not My Father. Welcome back to You're Not My Father, the best family-friendly podcast from Alaska and this side of Anchorage. Oh, Lord, we got a Sonic now. Sorry. I'm your host, Thomas Brando Greenman. Every week we share fatherly advice, humor, insights, and some interviews to help you help yourself and your family. So if you don't have a father, you need a supplemental father, or you just need really good wisdom, well, hey, this podcast is made just for you. So kick back and relax, and don't forget, positivity is contagious. And please subscribe to our podcast so you can get notified when new episodes drop, and you'll make me really happy. I say this every week. But you would. You really would. Just that one little click. Oh my God, so good. I'd also like to thank all of our listeners. I know there's a lot of new ones coming on board, and thank you so much. I really hope that you guys will stay a while and let us help you. And that's what we do. We do it for you. So without further ado, let's do something. Today's show is not sponsored by Sonic of Anchorage, but man, I do love me some Route 44 cherry limeades and a foot-long coney dog with chili and cheese. I never thought today that we'd have one in Anchorage, but we do. It's kind of like my childhood and college years all together, all over again. Pardon me while I wipe this drool off my mouth. But if you would like to sponsor an episode, maybe you're Sonic, who knows? Leave us a comment for us at our new website, YNMFshow.com, or you can email us at YNMFshow@gmail.com. Thank you, true believers, for believing in me and our little podcast. May it one day grow to be a big one that can help even more people. So you may have noticed that this episode is asking if you're ready. Are you ready to get ready? It's also not an AC/DC song. Are you ready for a good time? Nope. We're talking about the next stage of your life. We all go through stages. It happens to us whether we like it or not. Sometimes it just lands on your face. And sometimes later, maybe you understand what's going on since you've been dealing with it. But we don't like surprises most of the time. It's the unknown and the fear of it, I think, is the cause of most of our issues. But the next stage of your life, sometimes you have to go after it. You can't let it be a surprise. Sometimes that next stage is truly your choice. And your choice is this. You can do nothing and have nothing as a result. Or maybe something worse. Or you can choose a different path, one that requires some effort. Maybe it's a lot of effort, but that effort itself shouldn't deter you from doing it. A lot of effort can be done a little bit at a time, some a day, and think every day ends. You get to rest, you'll get to go to sleep. It's almost guaranteed. Every day is an opportunity to continue. And that cliche wisdom that Rome wasn't built in a day, it's 1,000% right. Things worth building aren't typically done right away. And that should be a comforting thought. I mean, you still have to hustle and work hard, but it's not going to happen overnight. You have to add to it a little bit of it at a time. And sometimes you hear my son yelling in the background. And those things might be frustrating. We're often an impatient people. We have that fast food mentality. But we've steered off path. That next stage is the real question. And so the more relevant question is, are you ready for that next stage? Whatever it is. I came to this by a shower thought. I call shower thoughts. And apparently it's a thing where you're in the shower and you're letting the hot water soak over you. Maybe it's early in the morning, maybe it's late at night or whatever time of day. You're just kind of in the zone. And your mind wanders and you start thinking about these things. So I have these shower thoughts. And one of them was, I feel like I'm at a great point in my life because of what I'm doing right now, this next stage I'm at. Even though there's a lot of stuff going on, I've got a lot of weight on my shoulders. The thing that I've been doing is I've been believing. I've been positive about the future. I believe I'm going to come out on top. I'm brushing aside all the negatives and refusing. That's right. Absolute refusing to let those negative things come in my life. Like sad songs or depressing movies or thoughts that would take me to some place where I don't want to go. Down below the surface. Down to a deep place beneath the waves. Where I'm at the bottom. Nope. Not going there. For me, in my opinion, that's drowning. And it's because I don't really know how to swim from an emotional aspect. I have this problem where I let emotions come to me and I just kind of ride those waves and I let them take me where I want. So if you're looking at it from a certain point of view, Obi-Wan Kenobi, I guess it's all poetic, maybe even romantic from that aspect, but it's chaotic and it's irregular. It's not good for people. When I look at my kids, I see them striving on regularity. And no, this isn't a laxative commercial. They love the consistency. They thrive on it. And I see other people doing that too because they know what to expect. It's that fear of the unknown, that curveball. If they know what to expect, good things can kind of happen. And I say all these things, but I was never ready for that stage of my life. I didn't want to believe that I was going to be all positive and try to keep all these negative things out of my life. I don't know why. I didn't want to refuse my emotions. And for all that time, I thought I was OCD. I always thought I was in control of my mind and myself. And I was totally wrong. I just really wasn't ready for that knowledge that I had found. I didn't want to accept it. If I read it, I didn't understand it, or I didn't want to believe it. I was a rebel. I still am. Back then, I thought that cliche wisdom was like a donut. It's tasty, but you can't eat it every day. It's some kind of weird syrupy sweetness that doesn't go over very well for every meal. That's what I thought. And I thought it was crap that people thought that, being positive, I don't know, cliche wisdom. It sounds good on the ears. Might have been correct at some point, but it's not meant for people like me, right? I was wrong. Absolutely wrong. I'm wrong a lot. I can admit that every day. Sometimes, several times a day. I am wrong. And I think it takes a lot of power to admit that you're wrong. You're doing something that a lot of people can't do. That admitting that you're wrong. But why was I wrong? I'll tell you why. And I believe this now. I do. Cliche wisdom, as overrated or underrated as it is, it's the chicken soup of life. I think it's true. It's not a donut that you're eating. It's a good home-cooked meal. It sits well in your stomach, makes you feel great, and it nurtures a part of your soul and body that you need. And that's cliche wisdom. But that's what it is. It really is. It does do that for you. So I'm struggling to understand why I rebel against these types of things. And I'm not going to lie, there's a distinctive part of me where that rebellious nature still lives, still bubbles up to the surface, sometimes daily. And maybe I've normalized it in some way. Of all the stages in my life, I'd wish I had gone to this positivity place a long time ago. I feel like it's a great place to be, but I can't change my past. But maybe this insight will give you pause to think about the cause. Think about your own future and give you some perspective and some knowledge that you can use. And it's up to you. You can open up your own personal navigation of your soul and your life and see where you are and see if you're ready for that next stage. Having an open mind to the experience of others, relying on that knowledge, not trying to reinvent the wheel. Because I'll tell you, I'm out here trying to reinvent the wheel, but I'm learning. I'm trying hard. I'm finding wisdom. Wisdom and knowledge that people have been telling me for years, and I'm trying to apply it to my life. I'm really seeing what it is these other people were talking about. But I ignored. I was rebellious against, and I said no. And I'm not sure why I did and still sometimes continue to do that. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to be an archaeologist of my own life. Sometimes those answers are buried in the past. Sometimes those answers aren't even mine. Maybe it's just the words themselves. I'm trying to figure that out. But I like that phrase, an archaeologist of life. I'll tell you, no, don't get too concerned about the bad things. Focus on the good things, the things that really make you a better person. And so I try to, I'll give you a good story. I was watching this recent movie, Guillermo del Toro, really great director, writer, big fan of a lot of his movies. I was watching, oh my God, I can't even remember it. Whatever the current movie is that he's up for an Oscar. It's like a noir, Carney movie or whatever. It was really great. And also very horrible. You walked away entertained, but you also walked away feeling incredibly bad. It was such a down note. It was depressing, and maybe I should have said spoiler alert. But I'm not giving away anything. But it was my wife was just like, it hasn't happened too often. I don't know if she's ever said it, but she said that I need to see something good. Like after that, I need to watch something good. The eye bleach, kitties, kittens, that type of stuff. And that's what we did. We got on YouTube and watched videos about kittens and kitties and whatnot. And we felt better. But in the past, it would have been a downward spiral, man. I would have gone out and tried to ride that wave of emotion. I'd be surfing that wave of emotion, milking it for everything it's got. Where is this emotion going to take me? Maybe I did think it was poetic, and that was a cool thing to do, or it was a deep thing to do, and that I needed to explore those emotions. In reality, didn't do me any good. Now, if I had channeled that energy into something creative and cool, yeah, I could see that. Like if I was writing a story and I wanted to channel these emotions, I could totally get that. Or if I was going to paint something or, write some music or whatever, I could see that. And sometimes I've done that, but sometimes I've let it have its way with me. And it's kind of scary. You just don't want to be that way. And so it's a cliche wisdom. Absolutely. It's, I don't know if there's a word for it. The word epiphany doesn't do things very well. The word epiphany is, that sudden understanding of something. But I feel like there should be a word, and of all the words out there, it's probably a German word, because Germans have really cool, complex words that can mean all kinds of things. But it's just a sudden realization that something that you've known all along and thought was wrong is actually correct. I don't know, but I feel like if there's a word out there, I need to know it. And if you know it, let me know. YNMFshow@gmail.com. Look in our show description and send me that information. I'd love to hear it. The one, it doesn't describe it, but it's, and I'm probably butchering the German, Schadenfreude, taking pleasure at somebody else's discomfort or whatever. Feel free to roast me or fuss at me for being ill prepared to say that word correctly. But no, I think there should definitely be a word for that. You've sat here all your life and you've said, nope, that's not it. That's not correct. That word, or not the word, but the feeling, it's like the Rome is not built in a day. Yeah, that doesn't apply to me. No. I don't, years later, you understand it, you realize it, it's crystal clear. It's like, wow, I really finally get that. If you're a Star Trek fan, I forget which, I think it was Generations, where Data finally understands a joke after he's got his emotion chip, and he starts laughing. And he just starts cackling. And he's like, yeah, I finally get it. I feel like that with this cliche wisdom. I really do. Geez, some days I feel like a complete idiot. But in reality, I'm still positive about it, I made a mistake. Moving forward, it's all right. It's okay. I am my own worst critic. You just kind of have to keep moving. And that's all I've got to say about that. Cliche wisdom. I'm not even sure if that's the right way to say it, but that's how I say it. If you've got a favorite cliche wisdom that's underrated or underused, or you think that I would benefit or some of our other listeners would, feel free to send us that. Social media, however you want. We've got contact information in this link of this episode for all kinds of different ways. I would love to hear it and maybe even put it in a future episode and we can talk about it. But yeah, that's it for me for today. Totally. Oh my God, why is this so draining to talk about the next step and all this? Geez, I don't know. Maybe I'm just feeling very emotional today. It's okay. We'll get through it together. I'll be fine. I think I just need something to eat. I need some chicken soup. I need some chicken soup for the soul. That's what I need. It's all right. There'll be days like this. But like I said before, the sun's going to set, unless you're in some parts of Alaska. You'll get to go to sleep. You're going to wake up. You're going to feel better, fresher, more alive. And you'll be able to push that ball a little bit further and add to that great work that you're doing. Thanks again, listeners, for tuning into another episode of You're Not My Father. We love you. I'm so glad that you listen to our podcast. We're a huge fan of you. Be sure to subscribe to us and get your weekly dose of You're Not My Father. We're available on Apple, Google, Spotify, Anchor, wherever you have a great podcast, you can get us. And if you found our podcast useful, please spread the word. Social media, Tell your friends, your pets, neighbors, the guy in the store who's in line in front of you. Just tap him on the shoulder. Be like, hey, have you ever heard of You're Not My Father? Just stay a little bit back whenever you tell him that. You can also follow us on social media, Facebook and Instagram, YNMF Show. So we're out there in the interwebs doing weird things with cat pictures and videos, really crazy videos. Some of them are actually pretty cool. So anyway, that's it for us. Remember, if you're a fan of us, then we are a huge fan of you. I was going to say, stay easy, take it positive, and remember, good vibes only.